Have you ever did like um, a life review? A life review where you just kind of go over, your life. Just kind of really take time to sit back and go over everything that's taken place in your life. I was thinking about, say, the last 2 years, for instance. It's been a lot of firsts for me. A lot of firsts for me. My first heartbreak, my first time experiencing loneliness. It's my first time, experiencing change within myself. Experiencing, life revealed, me learning some things, about, you know, the things you don't know. And it's been a period of a lot of firsts, first time experiencing, I had that COVID thing hit me, and that was my first time experiencing a time when I couldn't just get up and move the way I wanted when I wanted. I was like, oh wow. I didn't let that last long. I didn't let that last too long. But still, it's a hard period. It was a hard period, and it was a hard pill to swallow to know that a time could come that I'm not able to be me always. I'm not able to just get up and be the ambitious person, the energetic person I usually am. And so, it's been a eye-opening experience for sure. Everything has, man. And I went out on my first romantic date, you know what I mean, with romance in mind. That's a different situation. That's a different situation, where you've learned, and you're grown to a point you understand, what's important in life, which is another first for me. Learning priorities, what's important, And the first time I didn't put my ambition before priorities, things that are important that you don't know are important. I did not know, that love was important. I did not know, that the way I may go about certain things were important. You know what I mean? Learn about, the pitfalls of fatherhood. I learned about the pitfalls of, the kid in me. I also learned about transferring from being a kid to being a man. And that was definitely been an eye-opening experience. So it's been a lot of firsts. And then when I looked at life overall, I looked at all of the times that I was able to be successful in things that I, ventured into, and then all the times that I've had shortfalls, all the times I've had, setbacks and things of that nature. I looked at also when that period, you hear me talk about that period of homelessness, This was not something that was brought on by my action or inaction. This was something that was beyond my control. And it was just a scenario that I found myself in. And ironically, I was probably more financially stable than I ever been before. Definitely had more than I had ever had before. And I was in a pretty good place. So I could have never seen that coming. And again, it was through no fault of my own. It was just something that happened. And it was a fight trying to get out of it because, again, it was it was a created situation, And sometimes those things happen in life. Found my way, back on top of life. And, swore I'd never fall back. But you learn. You learn and learn and learn and learn and learn and you learn to grow. You learn to grow. And I'm in a high traffic area right now, so if you hear a lot of cars passing by, that's why. Active day right now. We're getting to that period of time of fall, and it's the holidays are coming up and stuff. I'm not a fan of holidays. You know that. So this is not the greatest period coming up for me, but that's okay. I'm gonna, continue to be me and, relish in this new me that I have become. I will say that, I have really been enjoying, the last, say, 2 or 3 weeks. I really been enjoying it because I got a chance to put the new me into effect, and I want to see, I need to see how real it was. I need to see how on top of my game of it I was, and I got to learn a lot. I learned a lot, and I learned, that if I could have gotten those things, put that part of me into effect, many years ago, a lot of the things that did set me back wouldn't have set me back. So, I wouldn't want, someone in their, 20s, 30s, even their early 40s to have to wait later on in their life before they learn these things, or before God forces it on you, forces you to learn it, forces that knowledge on you about the things that you don't know. And if you could, recognize what the priorities are, what's important, and realize, hey, that sometimes things we think are important may not be as important. Sure, we have to pay our bills. Sure, we have to have, lights on. We have to have vehicles. We have to have those, roof of our head, things of that nature. Oh, I've never underestimated those things, trust and believe. But, I've always thought way, way bigger than that. Way bigger than that. And I realized there was nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. What I did not realize, was the things that I overlooked. And you think you might have all the boxes checked, might think you have all the I's dotted, but you come to find out, well, maybe I didn't. And we are human beings, so it's not like we're at fault. There's nothing to look back on and beat ourselves over the head about. It's more important and to be proud of ourselves for the fact that we recognize it, that we learn. We're willing to learn, we're willing to grow. See, that's more important. And giving ourselves, opportunity to be proud of ourselves. I failed in having the ability to be proud of myself, to say I love you, to say I like you, to say, hey, look, good job. You know what I mean? I felt it inside, but, I felt the least a part about, I felt like, hey, man, that was a amazing compliment, man. How did you, do that? I've done that occasionally. You have too, I'm sure, but those other three things, the love, the like, the proud, all those things were not present, and so I couldn't really enjoy the moment. You know what I mean? I couldn't really, say, hey, I'm proud of you. I always felt like, that's not good enough. And what is good enough? What is good enough? You just did something that put a roof over someone's head. You just did something to, make sure somebody's going to have rent for the next 6 months. You just did something to make sure you're going to be good for the next year or two, whatever. You just did something that required strength, stamina, but you can't be proud of yourself. You can't. That's not good enough. What is good enough? You just did something to put a smile on a woman's face. Well, okay. Well, what is good enough? What is good enough? And that was that thing that I was missing. It's missing. I was missing that as well. So, I had a steep hill to climb, and I always thought I was always at the top of the hill. You might get to a point that you might have, a lot of material wealth, do what you want when you want type of life, and that kid in you can prevail, and you think, but sooner or later, if the kid is running things, sooner or later, it's going to come crashing down. It's going to come crashing down. It cannot last a long haul, It can't. And I went as far as to take, business ideas to move to different states and take business ideas and things of that nature. And man, it did not work out. Why? Because, the kid in me was the one driving the car. The kid in me was the one making those decisions. And so, it was doomed to be something that was going to fall way beyond short. And I might go it on and venture to say it was venture to be a failure. It was venture to be a failure. And who had to clean up the mess? The man in me. You know what I mean? So, you know, I learned, man. I have learned. And again, I would, you know, you always say, hey, what would I tell the younger me? Well, I don't like to look back. I don't think about the younger me, you know, me even a year ago. I don't think about him. You know, I'm always about the right here and the right now. And right here and right now, I can say I'm proud of you. You know, I'm proud of myself. I can say I love myself. I can say I like myself. I can say I made mistakes. You know, I can say, hey, I'm sorry for any, you know, mistakes I may have made or you know, hurt someone's feelings, you know, or done something inadvertently, you know, with good intentions and all these different things. You know, I can own it. You know, and I always thought I owned my, you know, mistakes, my errors in life, but sometimes you own it, but you still don't understand what you did wrong. You know, what did you do wrong? How did you botch that up? How did you, you know, mess that scenario up? And then also too, I learned that there are sometimes you don't mess anything up. It was just doomed from the start. You know what I mean? And there are things that, again, things you do not know that are in play. And so it never had no real true foundation anyway. You just did not know it, you know? So I learned that as well. And I tell you what, that's the scariest thing in life for me, is when you think something's on a strong foundation, but if it's not, it's involved other people, and they're not really playing on the same playing field as you, playing by the same rules as you, then, you know, you're in a game you're destined to lose. And it may cause you, you know, pain. It may cause you financial losses. It may cost you, you know, something you worked hard to build, you know, for a long period of time. And all of a sudden, it's come crumbling down because, you know, of that scenario. So that, to me, that is the most scariest thing in the world to me, is running into a scenario where honesty is not at the forefront of that communication. You know, honesty is not the basis. Honesty is not the foundation of, you know, that relationship that you have with that person, whether it be business, personal, romantic, whatever. And that, to me, is the thing that I do fear. And I'll try to have my eyes open at all times, definitely let my gut work, but I just prefer it not be that way, you know, because I don't think it has to be, you know. But yeah, looking at life in a review form, just looking back on everything, and, you know, but not going backwards. I can't do anything what 5 minutes ago. There's nothing I can do about it. The only thing I can do is try to be the best person I can in the next 5 minutes. And that's the way the reality of things, you know. But yeah, been an interesting time frame. Definitely been an interesting life. And I'm not curious about what is to come. I'm more, you know, enlightened by what is to come, and I'm excited about what is to come. And I'm now that I understand all the things I understand, I'm gonna really be able to enjoy it a lot better. You know, be able to enjoy a lot better. So, you know, my goal and my biggest thing is, you know, when I'm parasailing. And when I'm parasailing, when I'm, you know, doing something I never thought I would be doing, you know what I mean? I don't think I'm gonna be canoeing. I seen this guy, and I was going, you know, I got a video of it somewhere. This guy was on this canoe that, you know, I don't know if it's electronic, whatever, but it flows on its own. But he was on a river, and he kept falling in the river, you know what I mean? And I was worried about him, thinking I'm gonna have to rescue this cat. But this river had currents too. It's very dangerous, you know, it's taking a lot of lives. So I was surprised he would take a risk like that. But, you know, it just reminded me I'm not gonna be doing no canoeing. I'm good on the canoe. You know what I mean? But I do have a lot of things I want to do and I'm excited about, you know. And so I'm looking forward to the future, man. I'm looking forward to the next, 5 minutes. I'm looking forward to the next year. I'm looking forward to the next 2 years. I'm looking forward to that birthday I said I was going to, finally celebrate. I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm going to make it a blast, too. Looking forward to, my nice home. I'm looking forward to the things that I denied myself, over and over again through not knowing, through lack of knowledge, through, trial and error scenarios, you know what I mean? And one thing I do know is that no matter what, going forward in this life, I will be proud of myself. And, that's the greatest feeling of them all. It really is, man. And I can say that, with a smile on my face. No doubt. Holler at you later on.